bilingual education implementation is complicated and messy. And in our exploration of dual language bilingual education implementation for over 4 years ethnographically, we surfaced different tensions that teachers experienced. One of those was having teachers be faithful to a particular model that didn't necessarily always align with the student needs and language practices. So I'll give two very different examples, two very different teachers. Both of the teachers were committed to dual language. They both knew that it was what was best for their students. And so they both, when they were asked to implement dual language, took on the challenge with excitement. The program model asked the teachers to strictly separate the language. So teacher A took that on and decided to implement that with fidelity and strictly separated languages. One of the consequences of that at different times observing was students not necessarily being able to draw on their full linguistic resources to engage in meaning making and academic development. At different points, there was moments of tension that you could see how that strict language separation wasn't serving particular students' needs whose language repertoire was much more reflected language practices from both languages. One of those teachers, indeed, at the end of the school year, recommended that a student who was quite bilingual because he mixed his languages constantly, she actually recommended that he not participate in the bilingual education program the following year because he wasn't able to conform to that language separation. This is a problem, right? Because we want to make sure that our bilingual classrooms serve our bilingual students who engage bilingually, and that we actually support and develop that bilingual identity development. Because that was teacher A. Teacher B, on the other hand, was constantly feeling a little bit of guilt, saying, I know I'm supposed to be separating my languages, but I just find that if I can explain this concept, this key definition, then it allows my students to engage academically much more successfully for the class. Or, when my student was having a difficult day because of maybe something happening in their lives, to engage with them in their home language in Spanish, even though it was English time, was the most appropriate choice. So we saw that tension and how teachers can deal with it in different ways. So I think the takeaway here is multiple, of course, but one of them is that we have to first interrogate and reflect on our program models and how adaptable they are to our local context, and that how teachers can have flexibility to adapt them to their needs, and how there can almost be a cycle or a way for that feedback to get to the policy level so that there can be adaptation and improvement of the program model to fit the local needs of the program. The other one, of course, is that in order for our bilingual education programs to serve our bilingual students that enter school bilingual, we need to embrace that identity and allow for there to be spaces and ways for students to use their full bilingual repertoire to engage in meaning making and academic development.